a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine.
So the thing that people say 60, 65, 70 fear the most these days is dementia. I think it's fair to say at 72 I can go along with that. And they're afraid of being demented. And so there's all these strategies that people have, right? One is they pray for neuroplasticity, whatever that is, you know, so that your brain can recover. They want to believe that this is true. And also then they do all these things to keep their brain active. So like recently I was visiting the relatives, many of whom are within my age range. Nobody talked. They're sitting there doing the New York Times crossword puzzle. You know, and asking things like, what's a 7-letter word for the back end of a donkey? You know, we're able to figure that one out. And then they're doing that Sudoku stuff and all, you know, always to keep like sharp, and have some neuroplasticity. But you know, I learned now, you don't have to do any of that stuff. The answer is, you just have to go into retail. I'm always thinking of that, the Amy Winehouse song, you know, they trying to make me go to rehab, and I said, no, no, no. Well, let me tell you, go into retail, yes, yes, yes. I decided, like so many seniors in my age and economic range, that it would be a good idea to get a job, you know. I mean, I had jobs all my life. I mean, I got a PhD, I was a teacher, I was a researcher. Just, it's not, you know, it doesn't necessarily pay your mortgage, right? So I decided, okay, I'm going to get myself a job. I look around, and there's a lot of things. I mean, there's 2 things you can do at 72 with a PhD. You could work at Home Depot, or, in my case, and it was wonderful, I found out that Wild Birds Unlimited was hiring. Do y'all know the Wild Birds? Yeah. Wonderful. You don't know that, sir? Sorry. But anyway, the thing is, it's their stores, their franchise, and there's several in the Vancouver area, one on North Shore Brothers, and their thing is to promote backyard bird feeding. You know, you need that backyard, but you know, to do that. And then they have these stores that are really homey stores, and they have every kind of seeds and every kind of tchotchke, you know, and all that. And so I think I'm going to apply, because I have that background. It may or may not look like it, but I'm quite a bird watcher. Work on the Galapagos and stuff. So I thought, you know, they tell you in those career things, build on your foundation. So, okay, so I go and I apply it, and I get interviewed. And this is one of my first brain stretches, fighting dementia. Because the man says to me, tell me about your best experience with retail. And you know, it had never occurred to me that people on the other side of everything are retail and customer service. You know, I mean, that's the other side of the world. But I was struggling for an example. And then finally I said, I don't know if I can tell you a retail one, but I was on the bus the other day, and the bus driver was so nice. You know, it was somebody with a wheelchair, and everybody's in a hurry, but he was so patient, and he strapped the guy in, and he did all this, you know, didn't make him feel uncomfortable. So the man interviewed, he says, well, now that's certainly you identify good customer service there. So I went on, and you know, I passed, and then, and he said, I said that I did have one problem, because there's POS, point of sale. That's where things happen, like you pay. And I did say once I did have another job, I was in a bookstore. It was just awful. I thought you sold books, you talked about books. No, you don't. They just want you to go to the cheap table and buy this book, right? So it's horrible. And so I said to him, I had a point of sale, but it wasn't really my strength. And he said, well, we're there to have the customers have an experience of excellence. And I said, well, you know, it would take me a while to learn this. And he said, we're not here to set up people to fail. And I was just so impressed, all those cliches, and he meant them. And so that was really a brain stretcher. You got to admit, it was a whole new world. So I started working. And there was a lot there. They have maybe 12 different kinds of seeds, right? All this cut and pastes, and have safflower, and have premium walls, and this, and there's all these posters and all these 20-pound bags, and so I'm trying desperately to learn this. And they got color codes, you know, oh, it's incredible, really, it's incredible. And then, don't get me going on the sewer, yeah. And then all of these bird feeders, and there's tube ones, and there's disc ones, and there's all of these kind of holes and stuff, and all the time, I'm learning or trying to learn all of this, you know. It is truly a brain stretcher, it truly is. And of course, you want to do a good job, right? You want to give them an excellent service experience. You don't want to, let's face it, you know. And so, I kept on with that, and one of the things was, along with learning all of these things, and by the way, no one who was ever interested in binoculars got out of there without one, right? That was my real strength. A couple of things that you had to learn was getting along with people. You see, most of the people, they're real nice, and they're happy to be there. Some of them come in just to see the office cat, you know, and some of them would come just to talk about their troubles, and sometimes, sociologically speaking, it was sad, because people from rich Vancouverites also have to downsize sometimes, you know, in the West End. And so then they would say they can't have a bird feeder anymore where they live, you know, because they had to downsize to a 4-bedroom condo. And so because we know how to identify their needs and respond to them, then we would go to the hummingbird feeders, because you can really sneak that in to a condo. And so, but I had to learn, you know, like not to be smart ass. You'll see that it would have been a struggle for me. And so I had to learn self-discipline that way. That, you know, because it made a difference. You could make somebody unhappy, you could lose your job, and you could make the store not do well. So that was really, you know, there is a bottom line in retail, friends. There is a bottom line. You know, and this was an eye-opener of all sorts to me. And so, so between finally learning how to use the computer, because it's not a cash register. Oh, for the days when you pushed a button down and some money came up. No. The thing is, it's a computer, and it's not like at a vegetable store where you go, here's a pear, boom, you know, it doesn't work that way. You have all when you have to do the little beeper thing, you know, and they would try so hard. Those people I worked with, they were so kind, because I have to say, even though my brain was stretching, I don't hear anything, I don't learn anything without 3 tries. I like to think I got the same IQ, but I don't have the same processing, you see. And so they were so patient, you know, and I go, you know, hit the wrong button and the whole thing spews out, you know, it just takes. And it's, oh no, it took me 3 months to learn that, 3 months to learn that. It's so nice, you know, so I think. But anyway, I'm continuing to have my brain stretched. I'm continuing to stretch others' patience. I have become, it's had a great impact on me, and I have become a retail warrior. Thank you. Because everywhere I go, and there's somebody behind the counter, or there's somebody behind a place like that, if anybody gets in trouble, it's like something out of The Godfather. You know, I just don't do that, she's doing this, she can't. And then I say, no, I'm in no hurry, take your time. And I look at their label, Mabel, take your time. I just wish, with all that brain stretching, I could remember where I put my car keys.